Hi, welcome to Dragonfly Enterprises. I'm Randy McDaniel, blacksmith for over 35 years, and I'm also the author of a blacksmithing primer. Today I'm going to show you about the hydraulic forging press, as you see here. This is one style of a homemade hydraulic forging press. This was actually made from an I-beam. The I-beam being here, with the center part being cut out in order to give room for the cylinders and for the working space. This is kind of unusual because it has two cylinders in order to do the pushing. This hydraulic press is rated about 60 tons. Let me show you some other details of this press. I made a cart for this unit so that I can move this around to where I need it. In some cases, they take the cart and put it in another room so you don't have the noise of the hydraulics running while you're operating the press. In this case, I have a 220 5 horsepower motor. The pump is here with the tank for the hydraulic fluid. This is what powers then the hydraulic cylinders. The pressure then goes into this valve which makes the cylinders run up and down. In a lot of the bladesmithing presses, they usually just have a hand lever on this. It's located further up onto the piece. But then that means you have to have one hand on the metal and one hand on the valve, and you can't control anything else. This is set up where it actually has two foot pedals. This works real nice because one is hinged in the back, which makes the lever pull down. The other one is hinged further up on the bar so that this actually pushes up. So you can get control out of the one valve. This is still a view from the back, and you can see the large plate on the back which makes any of the scale and small pieces of metal that might fall off of this thing drop as far away from the unit itself as possible. These hoses are carrying hydraulic fluid, which is extremely flammable, and so the further you can keep this stuff away from the hoses, the better. The opening in this press is about 7 inches high by 11 inches across. This gives a lot of room for working in. I also have other plates that I can put in for doing different tooling. I'll show you that in a minute. A lot of people complain, they say that these presses move too slow. Well, the thing is, in most cases you're not running this full height in order to close it. You're only running what it takes to get the metal within the press itself. I'll show you what it takes just to do this for this distance. So you can see, even working it that way, it still works pretty fast. Now let's put some hot metal in it, and I'll show how this works by having just the flat plates. I start by bringing the dies up so the piece just fits in and gives me just a little bit of room to work with for pressing. This is 1¼ inch square. I'm going to bring this down flat. So there I can use other pieces to push in here to make different designs. So that make a nice paperweight or another type of design, whatever. You can also use this for forging by putting in pieces like this or like this that you can use for drawing out, for making your pieces longer, or for just putting impressions in for designs. This is similar to what the knife smiths use for drawing out and then for flattening. But it's very important that you keep in mind that with all this pressure, if your metal is not very hot, this can throw this stuff out at you at 60 tons pressure. So this is a very dangerous machine, and keep that in mind always while you're working it. I'll show you how this works. Now be careful, these dies are still hot, so you don't want to reach in there and grab them with your hand and pull them out. They've absorbed a lot of heat from the metal that was used on it. Many years ago I forged out this Cheshire cat head. It was done just on an end of a bar. So recently I cut this off of the bar and pushed it into a hot piece of metal. So I pushed it into the hot piece of metal like this, except under the press. And there you can see is the Cheshire Cat's face within this plate. I heat up pieces of brass and put this in here and squash it down, and I'll show you how that works. I'll wire wheel it up and show you how it really turned out. You can see even the whiskers are in it.